what are you supposed to do with your life when you feel lost? And you're a high achiever. You're doing lots of really great things in life. That we want to allow ourselves to take the space and to find luxury within that. And so it may seem counterintuitive when you are high achieving, you have all this energy, you have all these ideas, and you don't know what to do first because they all seem exciting and they all seem like they're calling for your attention. I have this quite often. And so what I've learned is that first and foremost, the one that's crying the loudest should always get the most attention, but to also allow space to relax, to enjoy the process, and to allow that feeling of lost and flip it to saying that this is exactly where I need to be. This happens every so often when we're on such a trajectory, we've got a lot of momentum, and then it's sort of like it dissipates, it shifts gears, and what seemed like really crystal clear all of the sudden becomes vague because we're probably too close to a lot of things that we're working on. And so I would say that when you feel lost, when you feel fragmented, when you feel like you don't know where to go, instead of looking at that as a negative, flip that as a positive and embrace that you're exactly where you need to be and feel lost at the same time. And know that that sense of not quite sure yet, we're allowing for the next move, the next idea, the next steps to come in at that time, at the timing that it's right, but we need to be open for it. If we're in an emotional state where we're anxious or we're worried or we start to get depressed because we think we should be doing something more than we are, then we sort of misalign our emotions, we misalign our energy, and we're giving it into the wrong spaces. So it's okay to feel lost. I think we all need to feel all the emotions, and lost is an absolute part of the journey, so that we can rediscover things about who we are. We can rediscover the journey itself. And a lot of times, what we don't really understand is that energetically, emotionally, mentally, I think this is at a subconscious level, when we're hitting goals and we don't leave space and we're like piling one after the other and we tend to not see the bigger vision, we're sort of asked to slow down. There's something in the body that tells us we're going to get burnt out, we need to slow down, we're getting tired, we're getting fatigued, we're getting frustrated. And what we're really being asked to do is to let go, make some room, and let expansion happen. Because when we want to keep leveling up, there's an expansion that requires a bigger space than we're currently in. And so think of it as you're elevating up and up. But as you elevate up, you're also expanding wider. And we tend to forget that. So as you keep hitting certain things, or you're trying to hit this next level in your life, but it doesn't feel like it used to, there's probably a moment where we're needing a palate cleanse. We're needing a way to keep an open space. We might need to declutter the mind. We might need to be adrift a little bit to see where the next wind is going to take us. Doesn't mean that we're letting go of everything at all. We're just allowing ourselves to go in the wind. If you ever get an opportunity to watch birds fly in trade winds and winds, they'll leverage the speed of the wind. They'll leverage the velocity of it, so that they don't have to do much and they can ride the airwaves. You could look at that bird and think it was lost. You could think that it didn't know what it was doing, but it knew exactly what it was doing. It was taking a very mindful rest up in the air, allowing the wind to carry him without exerting a lot of effort. And I think that's what's happening when we feel like we're supposed to be doing something and we feel lost and we don't know where to go. That we need energetically to take a moment to recalibrate, to reconstruct and bring our energy back. When our energy is where our thoughts are, where our emotions, where our thoughts have been, and allow it to congeal back together so that we can be laser focused for the next thing that we want to tackle, the next milestone. And so there's this sort of ebb and flow that happens, right? We want to have a lot of momentum and then we pull it back, and we want to stay in this rhythm of life. That is the cycle of nature. There's a whole year where we spend where it brings in spring and summer and growth and harvest, and then everything goes into the winter. It gets cold, things die down, animals hibernate for months, just so we can see that beautiful drama happen again. Our bodies and our lives are no different. I've noticed when this feeling happens to me and I'm really clear on my vision, I know what I want to do, I'm doing that for a little while, I get focused, and then something might feel adrift. Like that drive doesn't feel as driven, it sort of dissipates. And over time, I've realized to just embrace that and allow that space and time and let something new sort of structure in. There might be something new that needs to rebuild and reconstruct itself, or it needs to just settle, it needs to sit. And that's a really hard thing to accept, of just the acceptance of the feeling, but also knowing that you're in the right place. And that was such a big page turner for me, of understanding, even when it doesn't feel right, even when I can't see what's coming, when I really adopt this belief that everything is working out for me, everything is going to fall into place, even the delays, even the hiccups, it really does. I'm setting that tone. I'm setting that as that I'm going to see everything be a win. I'm going to make sure that even if I take a little bit too long, or I think I am, or things need to feel a little spacey and lost, that all of that in between time actually will amount to something down the road. And if we can look at life as these moments of this ebb and flow, we're super active and we have a lot of energy and momentum to do something. And then there are other times that we don't. And that is okay too. And see that as a luxury, that leisure is a luxury, and that you're getting an opportunity to recline and really absorb and percolate and get everything in and let the puzzle pieces fall. And when you allow yourself rest, you start to aggregate and culminate a lot of energy inside of you. And then there's going to be this burst of energy that's going to just need to propel forward, where you're like, I'm tired of sitting, I'm tired of resting, I need to go do something. That's the sweet spot. And that's where you start to put it into the places that you now have been thinking about in rest, in leisure, in that feeling lost, because you've been probably working through some things. So one way that you can help move through this, or if you're in this place, you can know that when these feelings come through, because they just do. Sometimes we get agitated and frustrated and lost, that we don't hold on to that. We just allow it to move through. It's like a visitor that comes in. How can we allow this, the space it needs to maybe give us a message, or tell us to relax, tell us to wander a little bit? There's a great quote from Carl Sagan. At the heart of science is an essential balance between two seemingly contradictory attitudes: an openness to new ideas, no matter how bizarre or counterintuitive they may be, and the most ruthless, skeptical scrutiny of all ideas, old and new. This is how deep truths are winnowed from deep nonsense. I love this quote because it lets you really understand how universal this problem is. That you may have many ideas, you may have no ideas, but there's this sense of being so open to allowing the new to come in, and then filtering that in a way where you're not killing it because of self-doubt or negative thinking, but you're just so crucial in how, and you're so critically skeptical of what ideas you really hold on to and what you pursue, because your time is the most valuable asset that you have. And as the creator and the CEO of your life, you need to really be clear on what it is that you want to do. And also know that in between the spaces of the things that you create and the things that you design and the things that you build and the things that you put together, you are allowed space. And sometimes we need more space than we want to give ourselves. We want to give ourselves a couple hours or an afternoon sometimes for our high achievers. But you may need a little bit more than that. You may need a month. You may need some time. You may need a year. You may need some time to really explore things way outside of your comfort zone. And it may take some time. Always know that you're always in the right place. You're always on the right path. This is your path. And every turn you take is just a new chapter, a new story, a new milestone, a new experience and adventure that you're just putting in your pocket. Whether you go left or right, you're still going to take probably the same route. You're still going to do the big major things in your life that you were always supposed to do. So let's not worry about the little things. And that feeling lost is a part of the whole process. And that you can adapt that to say, even though this feeling and feeling floaty and feeling fragmented and not sure where you're going to go, embrace it and accept it. And as soon as you embrace the fact that you're not sure where to go, you're not sure what to do, and sit with that, you're probably going to get to the next thing a lot faster because you've just accepted where you're at. So the next thing can come in. You're more open to ideas because you're ready for what's next. So I hope this was of benefit. I hope that you allow yourself to feel all the feels. You allow yourself room and the space and the time to wander, to let yourself evolve when yourself is ready to evolve, and not on some preconceived notion of time that's false anyway, on what you need to be doing. And have the courage and the flexibility and the discipline to stay the course, keep the visions that you have, and to keep pursuing into uncharted territories and see what happens. Thank you all for being here. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.